Hi, welcome to the Batch Lady, where I'm going to show you another recipe that you can make in advance and freeze so that you've always got meals ready in your freezer for whenever you want them. Today I want to show you a fab autumn recipe that is pumpkin risotto. It's really tasty, it's really different, and it's lovely to serve this time of year. Okay, what you're going to need is some risotto rice, some butter, a can of pumpkin puree, or you can make your own pumpkin puree if you want to, some grated parmesan, some chopped garlic, some diced white onion, and some olive oil, and I've got some stock made up here as well, some vegetable stock, okay? Now, if you do want to make your own puree and not use one out of a can, then you can just chop some pumpkin, like I've done here, and you can just boil it, drain it, and then blitz it, and you've made your own pumpkin puree. But I have to say, I love the fact that you can buy one in a can. It's got nothing added to it, it's just pureed pumpkin, so it's fat-free as well, and it's got no sugars in it, okay, so it's perfect. Okay, oh, and you're also going to need some thyme, okay, some fresh thyme. Right, let's get going. So, what you want to do is get yourself a tray, some olive oil, bit of olive oil on the tray, get your pumpkin. So I've just used a little pumpkin like this, a right edible, lovely little pumpkin. Remember, the big ones aren't so good for eating because they don't have much flavour. The little ones have lots of flavour. I'm just going to add a little bit more olive oil to that, and let's get that in the oven. We're going to leave it in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes, and that's just going to roast away and be absolutely delicious. Okay, next you want to get yourself a pot. You want a pot or a casserole dish that will go straight from the hob into the oven as well. Okay, you want to add some olive oil to this. It's a new bottle, so it's splashing everywhere. And get it on your hob. Then you want to take your onions, frozen chopped onions. Yeah, we love them because it's so easy to do. You are adding 1 cup of onions or 1 onion, so whatever you want to do if you're not using frozen chopped. If you're using them frozen and chopped, remember they're going to cook a whole lot quicker. Okay, so you just can get them in really quickly. 1 cup of frozen chopped onions go in, and this little packet can go back in the freezer. Your garlic, let me just check, you want 2 teaspoons of garlic. So again, I'm using frozen chopped because I'm all about making meals fast, okay? So if you don't have a lot of time, this saves you a lot of time, and it saves a lot of waste. This can go back in the freezer and you're not ending up with that bulb of garlic with the green bit going out of it at the bottom of your freezer. At the bottom of your fridge, sorry. Just give that a stir around. And you can start to add in your thyme, okay? Move anything out of the way you're not using. You're going to take 4 sprigs of thyme. So this is fresh thyme. You could use frozen if you want, but I quite like fresh. So this one, 4 sprigs, and all you do is just pull it, and you'll see that the thyme comes off and you're left with the little stalk. You don't want the stalk in it, okay? Let's get our thyme in the pan. Right. Give your rice a stir around, okay? And this is a simple risotto. Years ago, risottos used to be, you know, you put them on and you added a little bit of liquid and you gave it a stir, and you added it another bit more liquid and you gave it another stir, and you hung about over the pot. You don't need to do this with this, okay? Now, I just want to add in my pumpkin puree here. I'm going to use half a can of this pumpkin puree. Okay, in goes the pumpkin puree, which sort of just reminds me of like pureed carrots that I used to make the kids when they were little. So the pumpkin puree goes in, and then you are adding in your 3 cups of stock. There we go. Couldn't be simpler, it's like a big 1-pot dish. Well, it would be a 1-pot if you weren't using your roasted, if you weren't putting your roasted stuff in a tray. Now, we want that to come to the boil, okay? So we're just going to give it a good stir around till all the pumpkin is just dissolved, and it's looking sort of orangey and beautiful at the moment. We're going to put the lid on it and we're going to let that come to a boil, and we'll come back and check it in a minute. I'm going to do a quick clear up while it's coming to the boil. Okay, quick clear up done. Let's go and check on our risotto. Perfect, it's bubbling away nicely. Give it a little stir, put the lid on. All we want to do is get that in our oven at 200 degrees, and it's going to go in there for 16 to 18 minutes. Okay, so we are done. The risotto is out of the oven. 5 minutes later, out came the pumpkin, and we are good to go. What you want to do now is just add half a cup of grated parmesan. I'm just using already grated, or you can grate it yourself, to the risotto. Give it a stir. Just going to get my oven glove. Give it a stir around so that all the parmesan mixes through the risotto. Now I'm just going to spoon some out to let you see what it looks like. It's absolutely delicious, guys. Look at that. Okay, so that's your parmesan already through it. Then you just want to, with some tongs, take some of your roasted butternut squash and add it to the top of the dish. Now, that's all ready. If you are wanting to eat it just now and it's tonight's dinner, you are good to go. If you want to freeze this, you can simply mix the roasted, I keep calling it butternut squash, it's pumpkin. You can just mix the roasted pumpkin through the risotto as well, let it cool, bag it up, freeze it flat and put it in the freezer, okay? So you can easily do that. Make sure it's completely cool before it goes in the freezer. Now, if you're making this and you want some for tonight and some for the freezer, what you want to do is, when it's in the oven, it's going to take 16 to 18 minutes. 5 minutes before the end of that time, you want to open the oven and you want to take out the portion that you want to put in the freezer, okay? Because what happens is you want to catch it just before it's finished cooking, before the rice is finished cooking. That way, when you come to heat it up, when you're heating it up, you're recooking the rice and your risotto won't go soggy. You'll be left with perfectly cooked risotto from the one that came out of the freezer, okay? So if you're cooking it for the freezer, 5 minutes less for the rice. If you're cooking it for tonight, just cook it for the 16 to 18 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed this pumpkin risotto. Let me know what you think. Please remember and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, all social media. Give me a big thumbs up. Thanks, bye.